alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiiza Kabuleta.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Amakya malungi abatukereddeko ku mpewo zaffe za The Alternative Digitalk. Amanya Farida bikobere ngenda kubanga ate mbayisaayisaamu mawulire ate agaakoze olunaku lwa yesterday kuyitawo wonna mu weekend kuva ndoza ku Friday tewaliwo update, so ngenda viira ddala eyo tambule mpolampola nga mbayisaamu ne Mighty Global Update. Zitize mandi ennaku z'omwezi ziri 5 omwezi tuli mu December. It is the last month of the year, so bamikwano, don't over stress about this year. This last month we should be grateful that we are alive, we are happy and we are healthy, because abantu bangi tebasobola ate kumalako mwaka guno, abamu twabafiirwa along the way. So obanga oli mu December bwe wange bye wa planning nga tebyayiseemu oba tebinnayitamu, at least be grateful that you are alive. Okyassa osobola okutambula, osobola ate ogenda okola in the next year n'ofuna ate ebyo by'otaafuna mu guno omwaka 2022 tabadde mwangu. Naye katusuubire nti 2023 year anaabaako kale kubanga as compared to 2022. So fenna abakyali abalamu nga tetussa yadde munnange oba bafuna ka accident n'ovaako ekitundu ky'omubiri for as long as you still alive, you should be grateful kubanga ate waliwo aba teyasobola kutaasa bulamu. Kakati ku lunaku lwa Friday ku ssaawa nga 2 ez'ekiro, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yajja okwogerako eri eggwanga naddala ku nsonga za COVID-19, ku nsonga za Ebola ate ne ku security situation eri mu Uganda. Kakano kakati yategeeza nti tewakyali cases za Ebola era last patient bamusiibula last week. Kati malwaliro gonna tetukyalinamu patient we Ebola era na infections, new infections tezikyaliyo. That means nti ekirwadde ky'Ebola tukirwanyisizza. Kakati awo ffe tuba tujja kwekuba mu kifuba abantu ba bulijjo mwebale kugoberera SOPs, ate era twebaze ne Ministry of Health okubanga ate nayo yafaayo nnyo, yabeera nsaali nnyo mu kulwanyisa ekirwadde ky'Ebola. Naye yavaayo n'ategeeza nti COVID-19 olw'okuba relaxed ebaddewo awo yazzeemu okubanga ate yatandika okuinfecting abantu, wazzeewo new infections eza COVID-19. Kakati nnono yavaayo n'ategeeza nti bw'oba toyina COVID certificate tebagenda kubanga ate bakukkiriza okuyingira public office yonna nga toyina covid certificate. Era n'abategeeza nti mwe abafuna doses ebbiri mu kibakakatikako ogenda okufuna booster dose eyebeera yakusatu okubanga ate emibiri gyammwe mugiboostingamuko okulwanyisa akalwadde kano aka covid-19 kubanga reinfection weeri ndowooza. Era yavudde n'agamba nti bw'onaabanga toyina covid certificate eno ne card elaga nti wafunye okugemesebwa okutestingibwa in 24 hours ojja kubanga tokkirizibwa kubeera mu public gatherings kubanga bajja kuba tebamanyi munange oba oyina covid oba toyina. So mwe abateekateeka abampise mu conference gone, you should be knowing nti olina okukola covid test eya 24 hours munange totwala ya wiiki ejja kubanga ate teri valid. So yavudde n'abategeeza nti mwe mwena abalina public gatherings, make sure you test for covid-19 ate olina okutwala results eza 24 hours. Mwe abakola mu public offices n'aba planning ogenda mu public offices, you should be having your covid certificate kubanga wona abatogiina togenda kubanga okkirizibwa kuyingira mu ezo offices. Ate era n'atukubiriza ogenda okufuna booster dose eya covid-19 okusobola okubanga ate tulwanyisa ekirwadde kino kyakomyewo. Tubadde nga nno twakavamu Ebola ennaku zino bannaye Katonda alabika naye tatuli bulungi, twakalwanyisa Ebola ate covid-19 naye akomyewo. So njagala okubakubiriza bamikwano SOPs tuzigoberere nnyo, tunaabe mu ngalo, mask tubadde twazivaako, twambale mask kuba okulaba nga ate tulwanyisa ekirwadde kino. Twate wal sanitizer akomewo kasanitizer ko solo yita nako mu nsawo bw'otuuka n'okwata ku kintu kyeweekengera enzigi zino ze tukwatamu okuggulawo. After you close ojjayo kasanitizer ko and you sanitize your hands. You never know who is infected naddala mu bifo gye tuyitira. Kakati onnono era yavaayo n'ayogerako ku mbeera ya security eri mu Uganda oba eri mu ggwanga, era n'ategeeza nti nno bano eno bandibanga ba ADF okoba kwotadde n'aba opposition abamu, naye n'abagamba mmwe temweraliikirira bano bajja kubalwanyisa. Kakati ku lunaku lwa Saturday ku ssaawa ng'emu ey'olweggulo, Subaru omuvuzi wa Subaru yagenda n'ayingirira ekikomera kya Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago nono n'akiyitamu mpaka ku mpaji eyingira sitting room. Kakati no bano baali mu kutya, poliisi yavuddeyo ejjo n'etegeeza nti omuvuzi wa Subaru ono ye Fred Chiwewa baalimu babiri n'omukyala yategerekeseeko erinnya limu erya Mariam, era ono yagambye nti Mariam yafuna ebisago ebyamanyi era ali mu ddwaliro ali mu kujjanjabibwa, n'omukulu Fred Chiwewa ali ku poliisi, ali mu nkomyo za poliisi nga baagala okumanya okutegeera obuzibu bwava ku ki. Era baavuddeyo ne bategeeza nti bagenda kukola inspection kwene emmotoka okulaba embeera gye yalimu nga tennakola kabenje ate nga emaze n'okukola akabenje. Kakati nno omukulu Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago yavuddeyo n'ategeeza nti baasula ku bunkenke because tebamanya kiki kituufu, because omuntu engeri gy'ova ku kkubo n'otomera ekikomera ate n'oyita mu paka eri. So ng'agamba nti it was as if kyali kigenderere, so n'agamba nti baasula ku bunkenke nga ate tebamanyi what is inside the car. So naye nga kyabadde kya mukisa mulungi nti poliisi ate yavuddeyo n'egenda n'ejjayo emmotoka ate n'abagirimu nabo nebakwata. Kakati nno tujja kukubirizamu abavuzi ba Subaru, tubamanyi muyina amalala, muyina ne Subaru, simanyi Subaru Drivers Association, mumanyi okuvuga emmotoka ezo amalala ago naye si nnungi, mujja mujja lusulamu akaba ate nno muleke famire zammwe nga zibonaabona. Kati bwe tugendako ekiryandongo, abali mu refugee camp y'ekiryandongo bafunye essente ez'enkanankana n'obuwumbi 4.6 billion mu grant, era zino nno zaabaweereddwa aba European Union Emergency Trust Fund for Africa nga zigendereddwamu okutraininga aba refugee bano mu skills ez'enjawulo naddala nga carpentry, omulimu bakery, omulimu okuyiga ebya salooni, okusiba enviiri, kuzinaazaamu, ebyo nnyini salooni, kola makeup ate ne agriculture. Bano bavudde ne bategeeza nti abantu bwe babeera mu refugee camp babonaabona nnyo ate abamu teba-accessinga education, so kwe kuvaayo ne babadduukirira ne ssente zino zibayambeko okufuna skills okulaba nga ate nabo basobola okweyimirizaawo nga tebayimiridde kusabiriza emmere ne musabiriza kino, ate naddala abaana babeerawo nga tebalina yadde kintu kyonna ekiraga nti banaasoma oba kiso, they survive mu refugee camps eyo nga just babeerawo kulya kukula ndowooza n'okuzaala bagende maaso. Naye so yensonga eno aba European Union Emergency Trust Fund for Africa bavuddeyo ne babadduukirira ne ssente eziwerera ddala 4.6 billion anno nga bagendereddwamu abantu bano bafuneko ku mirimu egy'omu mutwe, bagiyita gy'emu mutwe ndowooza n'egy'emikono bayige munnange basobole okuba nga ate beeyimirizaawo mu mbeera ya Uganda eno etali nnyangu. Kakati awo ngenda kujjayo tugende Kasese lekatwe ya floodinze, kakati mu kufloodinga nereka ebintu ebyaba miners naddala bano abamininga salt pans nga zoonoonese, era bano bavuddeyo ne beekubira omulanga ne bagamba ebintu byabwe ebya ssente empitirivu bigendedde mu mataba gano era nga basaba okudduukirirwa. Kakati nno nja ndabbategeezamu nti nno lekatwe eyo nno leke ya munnyo, nnyanja ya munnyo, so we floodinga wekano olaba etali ya munnyo floodinga neyonoona kati olw'omunnyo nga guyingidde everywhere, so tujja bano bavudde ne bategeeza ne beekubira omulanga nagamba ebintu byaffe biyitirivu bya ssente empitirivu byayonoonese era nga basaba okudduukirirwa. Kakati mukulu president wa Uganda yavaayo n'ategeeza nti banaye mudduukirire Buy Uganda Build Uganda. Akati nno Buy Uganda Build Uganda ezadde amagoba era Uganda yalwankingiddwa among the top 10 in industrial development in Africa. Era abakulu bano bavuddeyo ne bategeeza nti Uganda ne Kenya ziri mu upper middle stand mu East Africa, naye era nga ne bategeeza nti industrialization policy ya Uganda yeyavuddeko ate okubanga munnange twekwata ebifo ebyenkizo ennyo mwabo 10 kati mu 10 abo mwabaddemu Rwanda, mwabaddemu Ethiopia, mulimu Senegal, mulimu Djibouti, mulimu Benin, ano mulimu ne Ghana, mulimu n'ensi endala eziweereza ddala abantu 10 nno ne Uganda yakutte kifo kya kumwanjo nnyo nno. Rankings zino zakoleddwa African Development Bank era bagambye nti nno manufacturing value added goods kyekyaleetedde ate Uganda okubeera nga ate efuna ekifo ekyokumwanjo mu ensi zino 10. Kakati gwe atannayagala oba atannadduukirira bintu ebikoleddwa wano nze nkusaba ate munnange abadde akikola weeyongere, gwe atannakitandika it is time nawe otandika okusupportinga Buy Uganda Build Uganda. Kakati munnange tandise okuzaala amagoba, kati amagoba tugalabako, so tudduukirire nnyo oba tujjumbire okulya ebintu ebikoleddwa wano oba okugula ebintu ebikoleddwa n'ezibeera ngoye newezibeera plastics byetukozesa ewaka, amasowaani, bikopo, banaye tudduukirire ebintu bya made in Uganda. Kakati naawo kijja kusobola okubanga ate kyongeza value ku bintu bye tufulumya kati nno olwo tutandika okufuna world recognition. Abasawo kinajjukirwa emabegako abasawo babadde mu kwekalakaasa nga beekalakaasa olw'omusaala, omusaala gwabwe oguluddeyo, simanyi tebafuna musaala mu budde, naye ku lunaku lwa Satadde bano twabalabako nga bakulembeddwamu omukulu waabwe, omukulu Dr. Samuel Odong Oledo. Ono nno yakulira ekibiina kya Uganda Medical Association, ye president w'ekibiina kya Uganda Medical Association. Twabalabako nga bafukamidde mu maaso g'omukulu president Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ngera bagamba mukama waffe yeggwe ayina vision ya Uganda, yeggwe munnange sirabanko mukulembeze mulungi nga ggwe, era ono n'avaayo n'anokola n'agamba nti nno bano baali wali Kololo ku Independence Grounds era ne bagamba ye tebalabanko omuntu ali patriotic nga president Yoweri Kaguta Museveni bamwebaza okulaba nga ate asosowazza ebyobulamu era ono n'avaayo n'agamba nti nno yeebale na kubongeza musaala kubanga list paid afuna $1,200,000 okuva ku $600,000. Ono bavuddeyo nnyo ne bagamba era gwe Mr. President esobola kuvaako yadde okuwagira omuntu omulala yenna gwe omukulembeze w'eggwanga ayina vision. Bano nno nja kubajukiza babadde mu kwekalakasa kati tetumanyi oba akasente kabaweereddwa oba basasuddeko batono aba bonna babasasudde twalabye ate munnange nga basoosootoowaza omukulembeze nga visionary leader owa Uganda wanenno. Abo nno be basawo abaali mu kwekalakaasa nga bakulembeddwamu omukulu waabwe ow'ekibiina ekya Uganda Medical Association nga bali mu kwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga okubanga ate asosowazza ebyobulamu mu Uganda. Kakati bwe tugendako e40 ba activists naddala abo abali ku nsonga z'ettaka oba eza environment bavuddeyo ne bagamba nti baagala policies eziprotectinga ettaka soil. Bano nno kino nno bakyogedde nga bali mu activity ya tree planting and community cleaning exercise awo mu 40 era bagambye nti baagala government regulating on artificial fertilizers ate bakubirize n'abantu okukozesa organic fertilizers. Mucho organic fertilizers zino tezoonoona ttaka ate ziyambako nti n'abaana baffe oba bazzukulu baffe abali betulizaala abalijja nga tetuliiwo basobola okusanga ettaka lino nga likyali ddungi nga likyali ggimu nabo ne basobola ate okulimirako ebintu nebidda bulungi okusinga artificial fertilizers eziri mu butale saawa zino ate nga munnange bwe zigira ne zoonoona ettaka nti after 5 or 10 years ogenda okusimbawo ekintu kyonna nga tikyasobola kudda olw'ensonga nti ate zino fertilizers ziba ate zaayonoonye ettaka. So bano bavuddeyo ne bakubira gavumenti omulanga ne agamba nti balina okuregulating artificial fertilizers ezijja katale naddala ezo waliwo fertilizers by the way ezawerebwa naye nga zikyatundibwa mu butale naye nga gavumenti yavaayo nebategeeza nti bibi nnyo naye nga era abasuubuzi bo babakyazikukusa ne baziguza abantu ndowooza abantu bazigula mu butamanya era bano bavudde ne agamba nti beetaaga gavumenti esomese ku bantu ne fertilizers zino n'obulabe obuzirimu okubanga ate omuntu okozesa fertilizers mu ttaka lyo okumala ebbanga bulabe ki obuyinza okukivaamu. So nno bano babadde nga bali ku community cleaning exercise ne tree planting wali mu 40 ne babaako munnange bye basaba gavumenti ebakolere nti nga ebalwanirira ettaka ate ne gavumenti nayo eyina okubayambako okulaba nti ate ettaka munnange lisobola okubeera nga liprotectingibwa. Ku ddakiika ndowooza 19 ezakayita ku ssaawa emu bannaye obudde buntwala kangendeko e Masindi. Kakati abasawo e Masindi bavuddeyo ne beekubira omulanga ne bagamba nti balina ba psychiatrists batono nnyo kakati nno kino mukyo kiri mu kuaffectinga mental case treatment in Masindi. Omusawo omu yavuddeyo n'ategeeza nti balina ba psychiatrists 5 mu district namba erimu abantu nga emitwalo erimu nga 300,000 people in the whole district balina ba psychiatrists 5 ate n'avaayo n'agamba nti no mental health cases kati mu buno obudde zeeyongedde so shortage y'aba psychiatrists ereetedde ate obuzibu naddala mu district y'e Masindi nti abantu abasawo baba batono ne babeera overwhelmed with numbers of people ababa balina mental cases ate nga bazze okufuna obujjanjabi. Bano basabye gavumenti ebongereko obusawo such that abasawo issues zaabwe zabadde zili sorted so bavudde ne bagamba nti babongereko ba psychiatrists mu eyo district because balina high rates of mental cases ate ba psychiatrists balina batono nnyo. Ngenda mmaliriza neggulire erya omukulu president wa South Africa Ramaphosa nonno yavuddeyo olunaku olw'eggulo ennaku z'omwezi zabadde nnya n'aresigninga ng'ategeeza nti omukulu ono yaddimitize n'agamba nti kyo kituufu yali mu money scandal yawulira n'agamba nti kyo kituufu esente zo zaatwalibwa naye n'agamba nti tezaali miliyoni 4 eza dola nga bwe mugamba gyali emitwalo 58 ejja dola naye nno ono yavudde na resigning era panel findings zahandigiddwa parliament okulaba nga ate examining basalewo oba impeachment proceedings zitandika oba nedda ono nno kiswaza nnyo nti Ramaphosa ye yaddirira mu bigere by'omukulu Jacob Zuma era n'avaayo n'ategeeza ensi mu campaign ze nga bwagenda okulwanyisa corruption nga bwagenda okulaba nga ate ensi agikiriyalingamu obulyake n'obukenuzi naye kyanaku nnyo nti ate naye omuze gwe yajja okulwanyisa gumukutte era guyinza n'okumujja mu ntebe ati abakulembeze nze nno ŋŋamba banaye tubeere kyakulabirako bw'ovaayo no pledginga tukkiriza bye tupledginze ate tuleme kugamba nti ate ekyo nange nabisangawo manya it is beyond me ate nga mwabayina powers okulaba nga ate kistoping wanno kati nno tukopeko ku Ramaphosa nammwe abali wano nga muli mu corruption scandals bovaayo no resigning nga noba tutukoze bubi nnyo naye ng'olunaku lwaleero tulina omugenyi waffe olunaku omukulu Odaka Asuman he's the Secretary General w'ekibiina kya NID ono n'agenda kuba nga atunyonnyola mbeera ki erimu ekyo ekibiina okuva olwa president waabwe omukulu w'ekibiina ekyo okukwatibwa era n'ateekebwako emiryango egya sectarianism mbono yabadde ayawula mu mawanga simanya abahima manya abanyankole so bino byonna tugenda kuba nga ate tubyogerako n'omukulu Rogers Turiahawe namanyira nnyo kola n'omukyala Lilian Lwedde genda kubanga ate tulina omukulu Rogers Turiahawe ate n'omugenyi waffe olunaku omukulu Odaka Asuman katugendeko mukuumulamu katono nnyo we tukomawo nja kuba negatiddwako abakulu abo twogeremuko ate ensonga ya security n'ekiwamba abantu ekiri mu Uganda ensangi zino. Very good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
Farida Vikobiri.
And Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are The Alternative Digitalk.
Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Tukulikeeyo mu kuwummulamuko okyalabadde mighty drive no ebeerawo okuva ssaawa emu mpaka ssaawa 3 everyday from Monday up to Friday. Kati olunaku lwaleero negattiddwako mukulu Rogers tuyahabwe tugenda kubanga ate tunyumyamuko naye nga bwe tulinda omugenyi waffe omukulu Odaka Asuman anaatera okutwegattako anytime from now. Naye nga tanatwegattako kambaweeka quote of the day. Home. Our quote of the day is about home. Home is a place where the small are great and the great are small. Home is a place where the small are great and the great are small. Akati no ewakaawo ewaka everyone has a home. Aiwe tubeera mu maka ago ewaka abaana tusoosowazibwa nnyo okusingako abazadde. Ate nga abazadde be babeera emitwe emikulu. So kakati this is going to cut to leadership. Even in leadership, abantu b'okulembera be balina okusoosowaza okusinga gwe weesoosowaza. You should kusoosowaza bana abatono b'ofuula greatest okusinga gwe because you already have a position that has made you great. You do not need a lot of powers to be great. So abantu bano b'okulembera oba kati abamu batufuga bufuzi kati b'ofuga b'ofuga balina okusoosowaza okulaba nga ate munnange babeerako ne we bali obanga embeera gye balimu simbi nnyo okusinga ate gwe bw'oneesoosowaza nnyo ng'ate already oli mu kifo ekikufuula omugulumivu oba omwatiikirivu. Akati nno ekyo kijja gendera dda kisale paka South Africa. Omukulu bannange, why would you steal money ng'ate oli mu esente zayambye abantu ng'ate olina opposition ekuwa akasente akangi. Bannaye nammwe bannayuganda abali mu offices eziri public, lwaki mubba abantu ssente ng'olwedde omusaala gwammwe si mubi nnyo nga waliyo n'omwana afuna emitwalo 21 buli mwezi naye nga tabba nga they are faithful nga bali trustworthy naye mmwe so bannaye kakooti ako kabatuulemu kabanyumira ate kabaleetere okureflectinga ku nkola yammwe ey'emirimu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rogers Kiiza, and I have the privilege today, along with Farida to be, leading this discussion. Ours is not an interview. We do a discussion.
Yeah, we do a discussion.
We learn from each other. We have a guest. We probably know a thing or two, and he knows. So we learn from each other. That is what we do here day and night. And you, as a part of us, can actually contribute to this, and so we can make collectively a better place that we live. Now, Farida, today is personal, very personal.
No, I am not being personal.
I have a quote of my own, in fact,
okay.
about leadership.
Okay, you read your quote
So
of the day.
you did mention that when you are a leader, it is important that the people you lead are more important. You put them ahead of your own because you have the place already as an individual, as a leader. Sure. And now this one says, lead from the heart, not the head. It says, always find opportunities to make someone smile. Now that I think goes back to paying attention to the other person. And to offer random acts of kindness in everyday life. You cannot protect yourself from sadness without protecting yourself from happiness. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So it makes a lot of sense because you are privileged already where you are. And so, and your growth also depends on how the people around you are also doing. So that makes a lot of sense. Now about the
leaders between
Ramaphosa.
Do they lead from the head or the heart?
They said we lead from the heart.
So as you are gauging our leaders, are they leading from the heart?
No, I think they are. I don't even think it is in any of those places. Theirs is more than the head and the heart.
It's where from the stomach.
I don't know. Because one person who thinks would not do certain things. Now that is for someone who leads from the head.
Who leads from the heart?
Someone who leads from the heart would not even do as much as one who leads from the head. So it means for them,
They're not
probably not from any of those two.
So
I don't know. It's just people are doing a lot of stuff. But I want to commend what Ramaphosa did to step down. It is a very big precedence, by the way, for people developing countries, particularly in Africa. It's very important. Yes, he did acts of corruption, which I do not say is a good thing, but the act of stepping down and saying, look, I'm resigning because I was involved in these things that were not faithful. I was not faithful to my country, to my office. I think that was a good thing. And that wave is actually going around. I think, is it Malawi where Lazarus Chakwera is the president? He recently sacked the chief of police, the vice president himself in corruption scandals, and there were 3, and the boss of the anti-corruption unit. So you can imagine. So
anti-corruption,
the boss was actually also corrupt. So those 3 people actually were also sacked. And I think some interior minister of finance, interior junior minister of finance, I think, something like that, because they were quite, I think, involved together with the vice president in some corruption scandals. And they were also, literally, all of them sacked. So I think it's some way.
It was pressure. Pressure yamuyitiriddeko n'agamba giving up. Kubanga ku Saturday, a personal assistant we yavaayo n'atutegeeza nti tagenda ku resigninga era ebimwogerwako si bituufu. Naye our surprise yesterday kunavaayo n'agamba naye kansinzire wabweru kituufu esente ze mwogera nzimanyi naye not to the tune of 4 million zaali bwe ziti naye oba zaabadde mitwalo 10 oba 20. It is still corruption.
Yeah, it is corruption. Corruption is corruption. Especially
ekibonerezo kigendererwa muwendo. Ekibonerezo kigendererwa kikolwa muwendo.
Those should be chikolwa, not muwendo. Especially when you're holding some particular offices. Wali okubeeranga you're like a common person. Probably our sentence is going to be about how much you have taken. There are chances that people will pardon you if you're stolen something small. But when you're holding an office that is supposed to set an example for everyone else, an action is what matters, not the amount or the quality of what you have done. So bobeeranga oli corrupt ne boba watutte mutwalo ne bakwata, you have set a bad example and you don't deserve to be an office that is about service delivery.
Ekitegeeza omukulu ono yandimpeachingibwa any time from now.
If he resigned, then I assume he is out of office.
Nanti azeeko wali.
Basooke bakola investigations.
Kugende.
Maaso alyoka akomewo.
Maaso bwe banaamu.
I highly doubt he's come back. But that was a good act really. Another person, you know how they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yeah. Some other person who has that much power at their disposal will baby wakana corrupting some of the institutions in but for someone to also say that, look, this office is and this land is probably bigger than an individual.
Ate yali ekaziza n'agamba sibimanyi ko naye kandi designinge naye yakkiriza n'agamba kyo kimwogerako kituufu era sente zajja kufamu yange ekituufu nazikutwala. So n'olwensonga eyo I am resigning from office. I think eyo kikolwa kirungi nnyo. It is a good example naddala eri ba African leaders abalala ne wane waffe Uganda ka corruption muyitirivu wane waka wetuli.
As long as it keeps around.
For as long as the money is stolen doesn't go outside the country.
If it stays in the country, we are okay. We are very good to
we are okay because
was investing
on benefiting around. Was benefiting a certain family and group of people. Naye era corruption nga tumujje mu bantu abeeyo. Naffe mu bantu ba bulijjo tulina engeri gye tutambuzamu corruption. Mu mpolampola ate ne kutandikira ddala n'abantu abateetaagisa corruption. Gwosanze banno mu line bulungi nnyo naddala mu bank. Bw'olwokuba omanyitera noyitawo buyisi n'omuwaacho oyagala n'omuwa n'essente
genda ku passport center
banka
no watchedi
nze njagala obwo acts obutono obwo bute obulaga but that is really bad
and that is how by the way it grows
that is how it grows olwokuba olinamu omutwalo ate tera obadde omumanyi otera okujja no bankinga so you go onomwayo omutwalo n'omuwa nebyoyina account number koyagala bankinga and then you sit there and wait for your receipt and all that is corruption.
When people have stood in the line for like over hours.
Sometimes tuyimiridde n'obugulu butufuuyirira butufampa negwe n'oyitawo buyisi because you have money. Those small acts bana know your corruption muvumirire nzaawo mbala yogedde dana esaagala kumpisa nga ndi mu line. Because I feel like, I mean, you're not too special.
It is disrespectful.
You're not too special. See, man, you get a line. How are you?
They could
have done that. Singapore, you might be done a cent in Nasa Sulayo, Nasa Sulayo. Kat your amount of Nadala for Batagabanguzi.
And when you say that, you remind me of this. There's a police, a metropolitan, I think Kampala Metropolitan commander of the traffic police, the gentleman we had here some time back, he said that we say that the police and the security agencies are corrupt, but who corrupts them? The people. We are the people. And then when things go south,
so why are you giving him money?
And when service delivery cripples, we are the people who are affected, and then now we take it back to the government.
Nemba hatumwe omusajja hana kugamba kono musango gwozizza yetolodde bwetolozi moto banega habula nfudde oje ekyetano olwayero mpedde ekyetano kimuwadde kati ekyetano kyogula omusango lwaki ogenda n'otereza emmotoka yo bwebye ine ekizibu
exactly
bwoba tolina mipiira kitekeko empiira tolina third party teekako sajja tebakuyimiriza tolina pamiti girenewing oba yaweddeko sajja yebakuyimiriza obeera muvumu n'olimulinda bulungi nyafande nkuyambe mukimunange wasuzotya abasajja bano mbabuuzeeko negwe bakuyimiriza. What is the problem, Afande? Good morning.
Yesterday, I had a group of gentlemen. They were like 4. So I asked, where we were seated, why is a police officer? What comes to your mind when you see a police officer? One guy said, Abubantama. Nemugamba, what has been your experience with the police? Nothing has ever happened to me, but I just don't like police. They just do the opposite of that they're supposed to do. And I was like, but you have never been in a bad situation with them to say that they're like, no, they can't cover it in the saga police, saga balabako, siveta girakodala.
Like I experience in police. Ngera bwe nyingira public transport nga gwengendo okulira na police nga situulawo nga nfuluma n'enninde endala asisoboli naddala police but nze nali sikugamba nti sibaagala naye nali mbatya buti so singera nali nvuga in that time era kirabika nange nali bwakuyimiriza
ng'owulira tosobola
muli okutya ndowooza abamu bakikolanga lwakutya nga talina nansobi gyakoze naye olw'okutya kuli nogamba musajja asooke muweeyo ekintu kidogo anaakakane olwo osanga atalyanguze ze nomubeeramu abatagala busente obwo
mugwako
nakufuukira ekizibu
ate ebizibu ne byeyongera okuva ku kyewandibadde ofuna
sente ompazaaki so abantu bano bannaye tulekerawo promoting enguzi gye tuvumirira fe abagigaba because singa tetugigaba gwagigaba n'oli agitwala fenna tuli liable so kati gwe gaana okugaba enguzi omuntu akwetolooza omutunuulire omuganze sirina sente zegenda kuwa nkolako but the problem with Ugandans is nze ngenda gaana gokkiriza kati babeerawo bakuyitako nanti gwe wagaanye okugaba enguzi babeerawo bakuyita oli principal nnyo babeerawo bakuyitako ne bawasooseewo kumbe bo balina ke bawaayo ne babanguliza gwe oyagala kutambulira mu mitendera emituufu ate wonodda ate munange bansaba enguzi ate ogenda oloopeeyo ensonga lwaki it is a lot of time naye lwaki sigendera ku mugendo nenfaayo lwayo enfaaki lwaki siwaayo eky'ekkumi omusajja kyayagala
but giving in is costly in the long run.
Yeah, it is, but
there are people who feel like they are first-class citizens. For them, I cannot wait, I cannot line up, I cannot be put on, that kind of stand and stuff. And they feel like things should be quick for them. They don't mind what happens to other people.
These ones tebalina position.
Bafunako ka entitlement.
Bafuna ka entitlement yako. No driver w'omuntu we bamutuma. Naye talaininga.
Baogera nabo biga.
Talaininga apate nze nabagendeza ne mu supermarkets. They will come ne bayisa abantu abalala bonna boba eva babeera time bad. Simanyi wabagibwe balaje balaga nti obudde bubakutte ne nebuza lwaki tebazze mu budde bo eva baba tebalina budde tebabeera mu line tebakola tebagoberera process ne ba driver kibakwatira ddala empisa zibayitiramu ddala ne driver wajja n'akulaga nti talina budde nnyo ye teyeetaaga ebitiibwa n'ettutumu ly'ayina
tolina by'otugamba what are you saying
terimukkiriza kusimba line. So
I saw one last week at court. A gentleman who was a driver omusajja yali mu parking n'amugamba I think I was telling him to park in a particular place.
Yes.
When amugamba leka naawe kati obadde oyagala nyimirira omanya ne minister muyimirize wali eri bakolete. Like, but minister is a person like every other person. This is a public place. If someone has told you, if someone manages this place, respect them. Irrespective of how far you are in the social class, in the social hierarchy, even if you come from the highest echelons of society, you should respect people. These are services that are for everyone else. So if you're feeling you deserve more than everyone else, are the things that are crippling a society. Kati naye nguzibwe ejja ogenda n'otuuka ku mupoliisi ng'olabira ddala sinza kuddamu ebyo kumalira obudde okwetolooza n'omuwa akasente.
Afande gye baleko n'omuwayo ekyetaagisa.
So it becomes a habit for both of you. So because kikukolera one time, you feel like it's going to be a solution. It's an easy way out.
Abapoliisi bano bakwasa ennamba bamanyi ono agaba akasente. Oga naye basajja mmwe lwaki munnyimiriza buli lwempita bali kumbe baakukwasa bakumanyi ogaba akasente. Kati so bo oba olina obuzibu ate obalina bajja kuyimiriza bakubuuzeeko era ajja gamba no mbadde gyakulaako how are you how is home but because they know buli lwe bakuyimiriza obawaayo ekyero
before you even know lwaki okay. And because it works for you, also feel like it's an easy way out. Okusinga okwetoloola ate bampe manyi ekipapulo bakole batya bawa kasente oveewo you have enough anyway. What does it cost you? So those are things, it may not cost you at that very moment, but in the long run, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your family. It's going to affect your communities. It's going to affect every one person. Because when it becomes a habit, or your policy himself will feel like they will be stopping almost everyone else because there is a possibility that someone is going to give them something. But also, it means that like, if another person sees you getting an easy way out because you've paid the money, they are also going to do that. So the vice spreads like that, and before you know it, the whole society is affected. So it's both our thing. Abantu bamanyi ogamba government yeri corrupt, there is corruption in government, but we are the government. We are the people that are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our fathers. We are the people.
Jetuvumirira fa abajuwa sente. Tebega ba mu sente aba basajja. Mbu afande ne afande besanza awo kukubo. Nedda tayimiriza afande munne. Amuyitako buyisi. So kati fa abantu singa tulekerawo okugaba sente zino kintu kidogo gye twogerako. I think tujja kuba tukoze omulimu ogw'amaanyi. N'omukulembeze w'eggwanga mu presidential address yavudde n'ategeeza COVID is back. COVID is here with us. I am saying kubanga nze sinalaba patient. So we are saying ibintu bya
the COVID is possibly back. I won't say certainly because I am not certain. I will say possibly it's possible that it is back. Now what is Omukulembeze when that he was reading that address? Literally the advice on restriction, masks, sanitizing, possible lockdown again. He seemed to not, I don't know, abantu abali bam preparing, and the people were giving him the speech and stuff. I don't think they had prepared enough because often, time and again, you'd be asking, what did you say about this one? What about this? What about this? And that means people are not actually informed enough. I don't think they had done enough research. We are in a festive season. The economy is dying as it is. Abantu basettings like balina ebivulu, they have all those things, and then you come and say you cannot gather in a public space, or you cannot have this and that. I think we need more information before we reach conclusions. It is important to control something. Prevention is better than cure. That is for a fact. It is true, and they are doing their job. But I hope that they do enough research before they come out with these addresses. Otherwise, we are losing so much more than just lives.
Simanyi n'okwatendinga ebivulu bino tugenda lagayo COVID certificate oba COVID results. Nti nagenze nekebeza I am negative okugenda mu kivulu. Ate ng'okwekebeza kwa ssente.
You can imagine.
Kati nekebeza okugenda okwatendinga ekivulu. Ate nekebeza okugenda mu public office. Nze ndaba bakisusiza. Restrictions bateseko nkakali nnyo ng'ate bakatugamba COVID is back. Naye nga balinga bagamba nti abaddengawo.
But singa batugambye, I would agree if they said we need to like literally frequently sanitize and carry face masks. I would be okay with that. But there are people, there are villages that never even had COVID medicines, by the way.
Webale nnyo ng'ate tebambalangako ne maski. Tebabimanyi mwabe Kampala mwabagenda ne maski za mbo tebabimanyi.
Okugamba omuntu ng'oyo nti buli w'olaga olina kubeera na certificate. Ka certificate agijjawa nga you did not vaccinate them.
Webale.
There were no vaccinations at their areas, in their villages. So there's need to be more research to find appropriate ways to handle things, not to rush into lockdown. Lockdown, by the way, is more bad than COVID itself. Yeah. I think a lot of people.
Abantu bemubende can testify.
Yes, exactly.
Lockdown in other regions but tutambula bulungi nnyo. For them I think they can testify. Bali mu 21 doza zinaagwerayo engeri Ebola gye yaweddeyo. Bajja bata.
Ate
Ebola yaweddeyo.
COVID yazzi kati ate bavayo balaga.
Bajja kubatanga babasiba lwa Ebola.
Ate bajja gamba first there's a chance that there could still be Ebola. Ne COVID ate uyatandise kati ate mu.
Nanti omukulu yatugambye nti bapima 15 days okulaba nga tebafunayo mu victim yenna akwatiddwa. So kasita ezo 15 days ziggwako abalaba nti okay. Ekyabongeza 21 days nti ku lunaku olw'14 ate ne batestingayo omuntu alina Ebola so ne bafunamu obuzibu awo naye wano bajja gamba ono omukulu katubate 21 days Ebola yaweddeyo omukulu yategeezezza bulungi tetukyayina era last patient yasiibulwa wa Ebola tetuyina patient wa Ebola mu any hospital in Uganda here ate tetuyina muntu yatestinze positive for Ebola for the past 16 days muguno omwezi so I mean yamweri ebbanga lyebawa abantu bemubende lya 21 so kiraga nti Ebola tumulwanyisizza nze nja kwebaza abantu ba Uganda okubeera abasaale mu kulwanyisa Ebola okufaayo okulaba nga ate bagendera ku SOPs ku n'ebiragiro ne presidential directives omukulembeze w'eggwanga ze yawa okulaba nti tulwanyisa ekirwadde ky'Ebola kino okulaba nga ate tukirinya ku nfete so n'olw'ensonga eyo kati tuli ku COVID-19 waliwo reinfection za COVID-19 tugenda kubanga ate tuzoogerakoko naye nze nja bakubiza ba mikwano obulamu buba bubwo togamba mbu baagala kufuna ssente simanyi dona fund eze zinalabye mwatandisedde ebiboozi ebyo mbumanya Ministry of Health yanyize baganya okubaga ssente z'Ebola kati ne bakomya COVID I'm telling you COVID bw'anaakukwata n'akwata wa family yo it's when you realize in COVID gyali nti bali abasajja n'abakyala babadde tebeenonyeza ssente so ba mikwano tugendere ku SOPs you don't lose anything by putting on a mask. Toyina kyovaako gula ka sanitizer ko kutambula nako mu nsawo mbwosanga sanitizer ku mulyango woyingira sanitize your hands because you are protecting you toyina mulala go protecting naye munagenda ku biboozibozi ebibeera ku social media bamikwano we are going to lose lives ate we munagenda okurealizing nga abantu bangi balusuddemu akaba so we bakuwa SOPs tuzimanyi bulungi nnyo tuzibaddemu ekintu kino tubadde nakyo so now we know how to protect ourselves tugenderawo mpola mpola we you can steam munywe lemon nga twanywa lemon ife ne garlic ne tangawuzi
concoction
eyo naye nga ku dakiika 50 zirya mwenda ezakayita ku ssaawa emu guest waffe ow'olunaku olwaleero atwegaseeko mu studios omukulu Odaka Asuman Secretary General ow'ekibiina kya NEED agenda kubanga ate atulamusaako atubuulire embeera ki eri mu kibiina ekyo then atuweeko comments ku reoccurrence ya COVID-19 ndowooza tugendere ddala mu security situation eri mu Uganda ndowooza tetugenda kufuna kuwummula olw'ensonga nti guest waffe atwegaseeko tujja wummula lumu ku ssaawa 3 welcome Mr. Odaka good morning.
Thank you very much and good morning. Beautiful lady and some gentlemen.
Thank you.
it is always nice to be hosted by you people. Despite the difficult situations out there, at least you come in and you find 2 people smiling.
Thank you so much for always making time and being a part of us and agreeing to learn a thing or two from you and then the people out there. The situation as it is. I think Farida wanted to get a little bit of a comment from you on COVID resurfacing of COVID-19, and then we can go to the issue of the day.
Yes, thank you, you people, for always doing that. I do not contest the presence of COVID. I don't contest the fact that it is a very dangerous disease. We must take all precautions to prevent ourselves from catching it. Unfortunately, and this is something I had told part of my colleagues in the government a long time ago. I remember a colleague of mine, a friend of mine called Charles Romshana. That was in 2007. We were in one of those days when you were young. There used to be programs in this country called Ekimeza. And he's a very good propagandist on which side he decides to argue. And I told him, man, you people are pushing this propaganda, but there will be a day when you only need Ugandans only to believe you. You don't need anything, but only to believe you.
Word.
That was 2007. Today, each time I meet him, of course, he is these days as if he's this side of ours. But he tells me, man, I keep because by then I was at university. He told me I still reflect on that wisdom, because now, even when something is glaringly true that the government would want Ugandans to believe it, Ugandans would read ulterior motives in it. And that is the record set by this government. When you lie to your citizen or to your children in a home, I am telling you, even if there will be a day when you want your children to believe you, and they will not believe you. Why? Because you have a history of lying to them. That is the situation we find ourselves in. That our government, sometimes I want to believe they are speaking the truth, but because everything born of a long tail is everything that has a long tail is born of a snake, you get difficulty in believing them. So COVID could be real, but there is also the lying part of the government that is bringing. Actually, the biggest fight about COVID is trying to extricate between the lies of government and the truth of COVID. That is one. But two, also the thieving mentality of some of the officials in this, or majority of the officials in this government. You know for a fact that people think now every arcade that has come up between the time of COVID and today must be of a person. It's called COVID money. And let me tell you, people are not fools. People know these things. People know this person. People know the owners of all this.
By the way, every one of them, even ordinary, you see like border.
Yes.
You'll be with a border through town and he will point at a particular building and say, Echo Chagundi. Yes. You go like a few miles ahead, there's Echo Chagundi. And let me tell you, there are people in government.
There will not be, let me tell you, you and me, will get wrong intelligence, but never doubt the intelligence of those people. They know.
The border guys.
They know. They know.
Call them the United
because
Nations.
They interact with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes. The issue, or our fight here about COVID, now, you can correlate this. That why should, because World Health Organization or all those international organizations, according to all the international relations policies, they are supposed to relate government to government. Now, what is this that is so special about Uganda that World Health wants to relate with the local government? Local government. Because they have realized up here, they have no return, there is nothing. kati basalawo kugenda okukola nagana local government babuuza now what do you want now they not even give money now they are giving what do you want I want good they give it to you. What do you want? Now, when a president comes back and tells people that you see, brings something, and people think he's bringing back the entire COVID environment declaration back technical. But do you know that technically we are back into what we used to be? Yes. The only thing missing is the practical lockdown. Now, when he comes back to that, what do you want the people who you've been lying to for a long time to think about you? They think you're lying. You're lying, yeah. You see? So it is, you will not blame the failure to fight COVID or Ebola, especially in observation of SOPs, on people. Blame it on the head.
Now, Mr. Odaka, with all due respect, sir, there's I saw some video going around about your president, actually.
Yes.
About the COVID vaccination and saying
that
it is only a mass testing and all that. Don't you think that possibly that the doubt that people have come to receive or to believe is because some people who are actually leaders are giving them that information, which may not necessarily be right?
You see, I don't want you to say necessarily be right. President Kabuleta is not the most celebrated scientist in this country.
That's right.
The information he gets out of research. And he does not give it behind the curtain. When he gives, and that's what I was talking to a doctor in Mulago, and I was telling him, I want anybody to contest, because I want so much not to believe my president. I want not to believe what Mr. Kabuleta has said. But you see, I can only not believe him when I am given an alternative fact which disapproves his. Now, if you leave him to say them, and you do not present a scientific fact which disputes his, but you want to lock him up, then who is right?
But also, what does it speak into speaking something as someone who has an upper ground in society, in the social class? And there's typically a lot of people are going to be following him. Now, when you say something that may not be factual, quote that I'm saying may, so it means it could not. Yes. So when you say something that may not be factual, what does that mean?
I don't want you to say may, because you're casting doubt on it.
Yes, I am.
Me and you are not scientists.
Yes.
Are you a scientist?
But so
even when you're a scientist.
But so is President Kabuleta.
Yes, but you see, he's presenting and quoting celebrated scientists, Dr. Carson and so on and so forth. The top, for him, he quotes top 5 celebrated scientists. Even in those videos, you get it? And sometimes he attaches those videos to his addresses. Now, it is only reasonable persons or reasonable government would bring, other scientists to rebut his facts. Now, but you see, you don't just say they are not true when you have not rebutted them based on science. Because science is rebutted with science, isn't it? Yes, science is rebutted with science. Science is not rebutted by dramas of literature. So the man is presenting science and is quoting the Ben Carson, is quoting them. He's quoting, you see, this thing called the COVID has really brought in very serious dynamics in regard to how government should be trusted. And it has brought in matters of how people rule the world. The groups of mafias, on how mafias rule this world, on how people are profiteering on conspiracies against humanity. It is what this COVID thing has portrayed to us. Now, there will not be very many people who will be able, because it is a game of very complicated mind. It's a very complicated mind game in this COVID thing. Money, people who are making money. One of the rich men in the world came out and said, and that was 2017, 2015, came and said, we want by 2025 to reduce the population, and that was Bill Clinton. Yeah. Yes, to reduce the population of the world by 1/3. Do you know 1/3 of the population of the world? It's about to almost 2 billion. Yeah. 2 billion. Now, when the man says that, and it is the very man who brought, do you know that COVID came in which year?
In 2019.
Do you know that the patent for COVID vaccine was got in 2017? But that's a man who wants to, 2017. Nobody was thinking about COVID, but he had got a patent right over the vaccine. Do you know that even in our own country here, do you know vaccine for Ebola came when we were during the lockdown? So who anticipates this? And the man is saying, okay, I may not have, I may not have the answer. Listen, President Kabuleta is saying he's not in regard to gold, to COVID, Ebola. He said, I don't have the answer. But there is some pattern I don't understand. How come this Ebola thing comes around and around the areas where there is gold? If it is West Africa, you live in Uganda. If it is West Africa, if it is Congo, you look around countries which have gold and think about Ebola. Now, even if you come to our country, this country, it has also to follow gold belt. What is so magical about Ebola and gold? That was his question.
Gold, you're like I now, Ebola
So if you are not rebutting
that is far-fetched, really.
No, but okay, far-fetched, okay. You also know, you also have the fact of where Ebola is and where gold is.
Yeah,
is it a coincidence?
Thinking about it,
it may be a coincidence.
How can a coincidence be in West Africa, even in our own locality here?
That is speculation with
honesty. Okay, it could be speculation, but how coincidental is this speculation?
Yes,
there is a gold mine
and there is a lockdown right now in Uganda.
Yes, I know, and it has literally been in Congo for I don't know how long, because Congo is known for the natural resources. but look, I honestly...
So then how can you say Kabuleta may be wrong? Just answer him, don't impose on him.
No,
just
I am not
answer
agreeing
him.
with President Kabuleta, but I'm just saying, what a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, even him, he said, and that's what he said. He said, I may be wrong. That's what he said. I may be wrong. I do not have yet the fact. But it is intriguing that this Ebola follows where there is gold. What is it? It may not be political. It may be health. So what is it? So you, the scientist, what is it?
I cannot accept or declare. but it's coming to think about it, it's also kind of a funny coincidence if it is. Otherwise, there could be actually something behind it. But it's also not fair to come to a conclusion that
nobody has concluded. We are only asking questions.
Yeah. Well, that is a good thing, because at least when you ask questions, we expect that there will be
and we have not suspected anybody.
I hope that there will be answers. Man, this is funny. This is very funny. You see, Congo has had that whole thing for I don't know how long.
You talk about countries in West Africa, those that have Ebola. Talk about all of them. What is this? So I only pray that your district you don't find gold there. The other.
Otherwise, they will lock it down.
Otherwise, Ebola will also emerge.
Okay, but we can now move away from Ebola, and it has already been linked with President Kabuleta anyway. So that was also an issue for him to clarify on some of the things. But how is need right now?
Yes, as an organization, we are moving. We are doing what a very growing organization must be doing, and we are doing it very, very consciously. We are doing it with all the intention to have a formidable organization that can change the politics and the economic and the life of our citizens in the very, very near future. We think that we think that the presence of need was really overdue, given what is taking place in the country. So need is there as an organization. Of course, the disruptions of state agencies, notwithstanding, especially now, you know, each organization, when your leader is absent, and not voluntarily absent, not on official duty, but absent in a way that is kidnapped, then later on arrested. Did you know that in the justice system in this country, you are kidnapped, then later on arrested?
In other words,
they arrest you when they already have you, when they already
in other words, you're guilty
until
you're pronounced innocent.
You see, because arrests have procedures and very well stipulated in the laws of Uganda.
Yes.
So anything these state agencies do, and like that they did it to President Kabuleta, that is not an arrest, that is an abduction, which is criminal. Now, the only thing they do later on, like they did, is now they eventually, after committing a crime, they then arrest you. And I don't know whether, of course, which is wrong. So after the abduction of President Kabuleta, of course, we disrupted a number of our programs as the party.
Yeah.
Because as a young party, there are things we are planning for orientation and induction of our national executive and also others. It can't happen because the president is not around, but also in jail. So part of our efforts are now to attain his freedom. And many others out there, because even the branches in Iteso and so on, all the time they have to call you, Secretary General, now how are we, this and so on. Nobody is saying, please come and launch this program we are set. Nobody is saying, please, we are now moving this direction. Everybody's effort is now towards rescuing the president. And that is a big disruption as far as whatever it is. But you see, for us, I keep communicating to our people is that they can afford to have the president for years. For years. We want to, because they have the power. And as far as they are still in power, they can afford to have the president. But you see, the good thing, this president, we have a president, he knew this would befall him anytime. Because in this country, once you join politics and you begin speaking what we are speaking, you are
a threat.
Not a threat. You can be locked up anytime. For any reason, by the way, for just any reason, they can just find a reason and lock you up. So he knew what he was doing. That's why even a week today makes a week.
Yeah, he was arrested on Monday.
Yeah, he makes a week, but the party is moving. There are some activities that are going on. So we are preparing the minds of our members that with or without president freedom now, need should be moving on until he gains his freedom. There are some programs that should not be on standstill. Programs should be going because when he comes, he should find when everything is moving. So in as far as we are concerned, we are moving in the circumstance.
Moving in the circumstances, twogere ku bigambibwa nti omukulu ono abadde atambuza okwawula yawula mu mawanga naddala mu butambi era kigambibwa nti y'ensonga lwaki yakwatiddwa era ensonga lwaki ali mu kkomera ssaawa zino. Do you agree n'emisango egyateekeddwa ku president wo era okkiriza nti mu njogera ye abadde apromotinga okwawula yawula mu mawanga?
I will tell you that nze nja kukubuulira nti at least akatambi akagambibwa kubanga ntambudde ne President Kabuleta okuva nga 18 omwezi ogw'omwenda 2000 we twalaunching need tewali public engagement yonna gyabaddemu gye sibaddeemu at least wemba sigibaddeemu mba nagifuna mu bulambulukufu ekitegeeza mbadde nfollowinga ebigenda mu maaso byakola byayogera nja kubuulira nti of course waliyo mateeka kiyita subjudice rule nti omusango guli mu kooti togwogera and so on naye ngenda kwewala okwogera ku merits of it nze kwomu ku bakwano ba President Kabuleta tetumala ssaawa 3 nga tetwogedde tuba tuli ordinarily ndi musiraamu oli ye pastor osegedde ndi mujapadola oli ye munyoro ekitegeeza ebitwawula bingi ebintu byadde bitwawula byalibadde bingi nnyo singa abadde ate sinze zekka waliyo n'abaganda nze mujapadola oli muki tulina vice president waffe mukyoli evening lake ate mukatuliki otegedde kati wotunulira executive nga bwe tuli nga bwatutambula tulina deputy spokesperson waffe munyankole ate so wotunulira abantu President Kabuleta bakolagana nabo omuntu wajja nakugamba nti President Kabuleta musosoze anyway kisesa naye okitegeera mentality ya I mean kinyiza I think oseka bwonyiga bunyizi because tokiraba muguntu you may not tokiraba mu byamagezi omuntu waba agambye nti Kabuleta musokoze oyinza obutabulaba kuoyo amagezi agabulijjo ordinary gundi oyinza obutamulaba mu magezi nze nzijukira lumu twagenda nkola eyo ekirungi eyo gundi bagamba video jalate teyali mwankole naye kanjogere kyali mwankole betwali mwankole mu dialogue affairs abantu president natandika bagamba nabagamba olaba abasookera ddala ono ngamba ono by then 12 kyali kisinde ono national coordinator waffe weeyo naye abasajja bano balowooza buli muntu yenna ava west of Kampala yenna munyankole nange bakintwaliramu bwatu bwe yakyogera bunyoro n'agamba nti it is now our incumbent upon us kubanga bano abasajja abatufuga batuteeseeko abantu abalala ne balowooza nti ffenna tuki ffe babi mu ggwanga lino ffe kino so kyetaaga ffe kennyini tusooke twekolemu omulimu tulongoose tubannyonnyole basooke bategeere era ekyokubiri tulongoose kye balowooza nti kyakyama ate ffe abaatikyama that's what he was saying we were in there's a hotel opposite Ajib hotel in Barara kati nze bwe navaayo nembanyumiza story ebbiri twali mu Arua ne president owe nyini omusajja najja n'atugamba nti naye mumanyi naye mu abantu satu mumanyi nge oludda lw'embalala aba western bo bwe bagenda mu banka babawa loan free of interest omusajja oyo yayimira ku bwa meya Arua city n'abeerawo okumeka ndi kutegeeza nti by the time omuntu ali ku level ya meya ekyo kyaba consi netubeera eggulu twali mu Palema Hotel omulala najja n'atugamba nti naye mumanyi abantu abo buli muntu atuuka mu nkola eyo awo atuuka myaka 20 bamuwa salary era bamuzimbira ennyumba omuntu oyo yayimira ku bwa MP otegedde I am giving you nti by the time omuntu ku level ya mayor level ya MP alowooza ekyo gwolowooza bateesemu ki abawansi babateesemu ndowooza ki nze kennyini kamwaka agwera nali ntambula nali nva Tololo natuuka igangaawo omusajja omuntu oyo namujja wali I think Busitema I think he was even yalina muyizi oba musomesa Busitema University bwe twatuuka iganga waliyo emmotoka nungi nnyo Lexus naye netuyita kabafu omanyi omusajja yaŋŋamba hatwan saa zirimeka by 6 o'clock it will be in Barara nimugamba you mean you know the car yaŋŋamba you also be serious You mean which other people can afford that kind of car if it's not those people? What again?
Yes.
Now, for us, even what moved us into going into these dialogues until we ended up at the national conference, we had realized how this country had been. And that was the responsibility of the leadership that has government in this country. Bebateekawo abantu baffe ne batandika. Nze, I am a muko of people from Western Uganda. I know how people of Western Uganda also toil, suffer, struggle to put food on the table, just like all of us. I know manyi abantu abakola obulungi, ababi nga bava etololo. Where I come from. But I also know very good people who come from Western Uganda. So this issue of generalizing our people, we must find a way of fighting it so that our people, because we shall not get out of this situation unless we have known who the really bad people are. They should not use a tribe, they should not use religion, they should not use anything. And that has been our struggle. That's why our organization is called NEED. The other one is economy, this one is dialogue in the political space.
The police quoted him saying, social service delivery in Mbarara is based on ethnic lives of Tutsi, Bahima, Bachiga, and Banyankole. You see, when we were, you could have realized when we were in one of both the press conference and also in our national conference. Part of the teams, the delegates who came from Ankole, there's a lady who came up and was reading the 50-year master plan. If you people are media people, you must have captured that. And that was not President Kabuleta at all. And that's why I laugh at those evidences that they say, of course they can easily manipulate those things, but I am confident it is not him. The lady clearly stated and said, you see, it is true, because for us who are contesting, by the way, for us who are saying, there is nobody who is given money, there is nobody who is, the lady said, you people think for us from Western Uganda, we are okay. That's what she said. But even us, we are suffering like you people. When you go to Mbarara Hospital, and she said, the old, and because I overwatched this video, I'm watching this video, because I wanted to find out where the accusation of President Kabuleta is. And she said, in Mbarara Hospital, the old building, the new buildings are private now. The old ones are public. Are the public ones. We have no medicine, we have no what, we only have the selected people who come from there are the ones that who are better off and supported by government, are the ones that go to the private wing. Yes, private wing. Yeah. And that's what that lady said. Because that has been given to Omulamuzi. And said, and the then new buildings are private. Yes, and then he said that it is true we have privileged people in this country. And she said that. Now, wherever they go to that and so on and Tutsi and so on. That is true. They know, and for us, we are only waiting that they tender that as evidence in court. We will have to rebut that in court. So it is not a fact that he did not. It is not a fact, and let me tell you, that's why Chovankugambye nti omuntu yenna watandika okumbulira nti Kabuleta ayinza okubeera mu bulozi byawula abantu. Mutimulaba mu magezi. By the I don't see any kagezi in you, even a small man. Because oyogera ekigambo ekyo. Even debating with you, I then sees. I don't, because I know the person I'm talking about. So, lastly, omanyi in this country, osanga ng'omuntu nga waliyo egundi oyo omukyala kye yali ayogerako neera n'agamba nti waliyo n'endowooza, and this is how she said it, waliyo n'endowooza that when you go to Greater Ankole, East Ankole, Eastern Korea, we agamba nti that's Greater Bushenyi. That one is but when you come to Eastern Korea, which is Greater Mbarara, constituencies zonna zifugibwa Bahima. That's how she said it. Now, how old that? I don't know. The only thing maybe that one can accuse President
President Kabuleta off is because he's a leader of an organization that convened a dialogue for people to talk. And I know in this country that the government that is in town hates dialogue.
He gave a platform to people to promote sectarianism.
No, but is that sectarianism? so the very people who promote sectarianism by action are the ones who are accusing somebody others who is trying to fight it. Because Kabuleta spoke in Batadde and cried and said he knows he has Bahima friends who come to him and tell him, please help me. The man shedded tears. You know, these religious leaders. He said, I know Bahima friends. Even last week, he said, last week, a friend of mine brought a daughter to my office to help them with some money because they wanted to process a passport to go out. They are Bahima. Why are you accusing them? We should simply identify those who are the bad people in this country. And the bad people come from all tribes.
Yeah.
That's right.
But unfortunately, the one who is fighting it is in jail. The one who is promoting it is in State House.
Could there be another reasons why President Kabuleta yakwatiddwa okujjako gino emisango gye bamuteeseko?
Yes, we suspect many things, and one of them, in this country, whenever you speak truth to power, speaking truth to power, they think the only way to gag you is to intimidate you. Of course, they begin with threats.
Yeah.
They begin with threats. When you don't give in to threats, then the physical arrest will come in. Of course, we know that it is as dangerous as even sometimes facing death.
Yeah.
We know for a fact, and that is the cost of speaking truth to power. And we know that is precisely why President Kabuleta was abducted and later arrested.
They first abduct you for some time and then they later arrest you.
And the part
that is true.
The part I didn't understand is sectarianism is a civilian kind of offense.
Yes.
Why was he arrested with the military?
It can only be answered by those, because those who are promoting, who don't want sectarianism to end, command the army. They own the army, so the army has to help them. So that is precisely why President Kabuleta is a prisoner of conscience. And we insist that he's a prisoner of conscience, and we tell Ugandans that I do not think, because when I spoke to him at court, me, I am happy, I am strong because he's very strong. He's extremely strong. That's the message I can tell Ugandans, that he's a very strong man. Even if you released him today, he will come back and say, look, because none of those things he said
are a concoction. None of them is a concoction. But I wanted to also get some clearance from you. They said, the police alleges that they summoned him on November 3rd to appear and answer to those allegations of sectarianism promotion, and he did not show up.
Yeah, you see, the way our security, some of our security people do work is really bad and professional, and they should, I think, because of the word security and the state, because security, police and prison, because I have asked this question before here. But you see, from independence, whenever governments changed, at least 2 institutions remained intact, and because of their professional conduct. Prisons and police. Prisons and police always remained, because they exhibited some semblance of professionalism. Now, that particular sermon they are talking about, it was on, I think, November 3rd?
Yeah, the sermon was for November 3rd. For his appearance.
Yes. the summon was brought. And you know, for us, we are confident because these guys, the first time they came, they didn't, they thought we didn't have a CCTV camera. And then
they had come actually
immediately they came, we installed. Immediately when we realized that was a big lapse, we installed. Because we knew certain things will be happening, and we need to know them. Now, they brought the summon at 3:48 3:48 p.m. And the summon was saying he reports on that day at 10 a.m. and you know, I am saying this because I am telling you we release this, we can give these footages because it was all captured on our CCTV camera. It was about 4, the summon was delivered, the summon is being I was not even in office, so President Kabuleta calls me and tells me, Odaka, they have brought us here summon, but we are supposed to report
to appear at
10. I said no.
And
of course,
it is being delivered at
4
of the same day.
On the same day. I told him, now what we do, let's speak to our lawyer to handle that. I am not in town. Let's speak to the lawyer to handle it. So we called our lawyer. We told the lawyer about it, and I am the one who sent it to him on WhatsApp. So I told him, you go to room 64 CPS, because that's where they had invited us.
That was on the November 3rd?
Yes, and the man arrived there at around 5.
On the same day?
On the same day. He told them, yes, we just received this summon about an hour ago, but it is requesting us to appear here same day, but in the morning. So it is late.
Yeah.
So they told him, oh, okay, now you go to Kibuli. You get it? Because this summon was inviting us room 64, and that's where the person who signed it sits. The person who signed it told him, now I am requesting you to go to... Then the lawyer was like, but you are the one who signed. Can't you change? He can even appear tomorrow. He said, no, just go to Kibuli. The lawyer, the following day, he went to Kibuli. When he reached Kibuli, he said, oh, sorry, we are going to make a new summon. Let's first get our schedule, because this entire week, and that was, I think, a Tuesday. This entire week we are occupied. Let us see next week. Then the man took the lawyer's number and said, I am going to call you. And the lawyer was then Ivan Bowe.
I saw him.
The gentleman waited.
Talk about that.
The gentleman waited, and it didn't come. The only thing we saw was an abduction. So how can you conduct your state business?
So there were no fresh summons?
Nothing.
There were no follow-up on the lawyer?
Nothing. Let them produce it to the contrary. Let them bring it to the contrary. Because how do you conduct state business like that? So we think, for us we think, let me tell you, we think there was an ulterior motive in this. We think that first of all, they did that deliberately, intentionally.
They knew and appear, so they had to do that.
Yes, they wanted it intentional, done that so that they humiliate him or abduct him, so that they can do other things. I think it was intentional.
Now abductions are all over the country.
Yes.
What are the solutions? Mukozeo step chi okubeera nga ate tukendezaako ku abduction.
Abakola abduction be balina steps ezisobola okukendeeza gonde, kubanga be balina emmundu, be balina obuyinza, be balina ssente, be balina eddoboozi, be balina buli kimu. Ffe kye tugenda okukola okubeera nga tukuba enduulu. Gwe nga nannyini maka gwe bazze okumenya, tolina kirala kyonna, bali be basobola okusalawo nti kati leka tulekerawo okukola ki oba nedda. Naye gwe tetugenda kusirika, n'ekyokubiri tuli mu kudocumentinga, kubanga tukimanyi bulungi bano abalaba oba tolina linnya nga President Kabuleta, wali aba be batta,
wali abakwati nga tetubamanyi
bangi. Era kyofa tukubira abantu baffe emiranga.
Ferdinand wano babadde bamukubya akatayimbwa yazirise kumala 2 days.
Olaba owaffe wano nkubuulira nti bangi kubanga kati Ferdinand omumanyi olw'okuba munamawulire, mukwano gwo, mukola naye. Kati wali abalala abali eyo abantu baffe abawansi ye bamukwata ne bakola kye bamukola abantu ne babatta. They kill them. Tumumanyi bulungi nti waliyo n'abantu bebakwata nga tugenda mu kalulu paka leero tebalabikako.
Tetumanyi oba bali mu poliisi oba
tetumanyi nga bali mu poliisi oba bali mu CMI oba baafa bali mu bitooko bavundireeyo. Tewali amanyi era tewali awa ansa. So ffe tujja kyetugenda okukola kyokka. Omanyi gavumenti eno bwe yajja mu buyinza 1987 yateekawo akakiiko akanoonyereza to do inquiry ku human rights records za gavumenti ezayitawo. Twatulowooza nti nno by doing that there will be lessons because we thought that those inquiries were to have lessons. And indeed, part of the lessons, part of the outcome of those inquiries are institutions like Human Rights Commission. Because of what happened, said, okay. But now Human Rights Commission, nayo yenyini eringa state functionary. Owulira chairperson agenda n'agamba nti ffe twogera nnyo ku gundi ate buli twogera twonoona erinnya ly'abantu bali mu uniform. How can a chairperson of Human Rights Commission say that? That we are spoiling the name of our people in uniform. Instead of, now she doesn't pay attention to even her own reports. Now, where do we run to? When you go to court, and this is very unfortunate that I'm speaking about it. You go to court, when President Kabuleta eventually appeared in court, I am telling you, I saw a magistrate running away from the case.
By the way, why was he denied bail?
He was not denied bail. Factually, okay, from the layman's language, if you are not a lawyer, you will say he was denied bail. But first of all, he was not even allowed to apply for bail. You know what the magistrate said? We arrived there at around 11. That's when we learned that President Kabuleta has been smuggled into court. I think the plan was charge him very fast when nobody is there
and
remand him the way they did to Kakwenza. That was their plan. But because we also have our colleagues and they are still good people within the system, they tipped us and we found them. Now when they saw we had arrived, they decided to delay the case from 11 to around 4. You get it? I am showing you the bad-heartedness of some people. So when the magistrate arrived, magistrate simply called Kabuleta and so they arrived. This of course the citing of the charge said, do you understand? Said yes. No, take plea. After taking the plea, so it was now the lawyer's turn to speak and make submission and then apply for bail or something. The lady simply said, I don't have time, I still have you know, in law and court process, criminal offenses take precedence over civil. And also, even now, if it is a matter of human rights matters take precedence over everything. Now, she said, I have cases still lined up, civil and what. Then the lawyer said, but this is criminal, Your Worship. And she kept quiet. And
it's time sensitive.
Yes, and said, okay. Then she said, but anyway, but still, that's exactly what they wanted. But it's still, then the council said, then I don't have time, I have other cases. Then the council said, Your Worship, this is a matter of human rights. And I want to quote her. She said, by the way, you are right.
That is
but still, I don't have time. Then imagine, that is a lawyer. Then President Kabuleta raised up and said, I have something to say. Said, my health, I have some health issues. Then he said, by the way, you will sort out at prison. Can you imagine?
At the prison.
Can you imagine? Then the lady literally running away from the case. I don't know what the order was. I don't know what was put on the chair that was pricking her back. You know? I don't know. She literally ran away. And now, I kept on thinking, We thought that when they abduct you, they go torture you, at least where you will get solace in terms of justice will be court. Now, if even court is turning this way, where are you pushing Ugandans? Because no Ugandan is going... Okay, some will go to exile, some will pretend they are going to do cheyo when they are running away from this political situation, but some, not all, will go away. So where are you pushing them to?
So he was remanded.
He was remanded
to Rizira
to
reappear on 14th.
14th. We are, of course, the lawyers. We instructed. The party has instructed lawyers.
14th is next week, I think.
Yes, but you see, a day for a health issue is too far too long. Health issue. They took him away. He had the medication that he was undergoing. All those days they kept him. The man was not accessing the doctor. The man was not accessing his medicine. You see how sometimes they release people and people die afterwards, and then they say, "Baba kubiye mpisonga bali mukomera." Omuntu, you've denied somebody treatment. Now,
and
we have instructed the lawyers to keep pushing for a production warrant so that it's produced and we apply for bail because we think his health is deteriorating. He's really not okay. He's not okay. So hopefully today is Monday because they denied signing. The magistrate refused to sign production warrant even last week.
The same magistrate?
Yes. She said, when we took the production warrant, she said we attached the diagnosis and medical report and what. We went, we got, we gave her. She said, now, you see, you need to look for the state attorney. You first agree with the state attorney, then I will... Can you imagine?
What is...
So what has delayed us up there is looking for a state attorney. How can... Since when has a production warrant involved the state attorney?
Because what is the name of this magistrate?
She's Diana someone. You know, when you are bad, sometimes I don't want to remember your name. I am honest.
You do not want to remember her name?
Because me, I don't want nightmares in my life. Because, you know, and by that I'm not saying this out of fun. Because we share names. I will meet a name of somebody who bears the same name. Yeah. I'll begin hating that person. Yeah. By that it is something
very possible.
Yes. So to avoid that, I make sure that I don't remember your name. So that I do not transfer burden on somebody else who was innocent of what you committed against me.
So what you are meant to do is look for the state magistrate?
It has created a new precedent in law that to have a production warrant, you have to look for a state attorney. Can you imagine?
Agree to either give you a
to agree whether that state attorney will be available. Not agree, will be available.
But they
will be available on a particular date.
Yes. Oh. Can you imagine?
So we work on the timetable of the state attorney.
But that is where we have reached.
So the judge has to consult the state attorney before she gives a conclusion.
Unfortunate.
But that is quite a bad experience and precedence that we are setting. But now, as need in this whole katemba of political quagmire, someone would put it, what do you think? How do you think we are going to get out of this? Because even if he gets out, it's possible that they could probably
rearrest him.
They will probably give him like bail. He goes out, and then they say that they got new evidence, and then they will get him back.
You see, let me tell you, again. For us, we are not saying don't prosecute. By the way, we want this case very much.
Yes.
By the way, let me tell you, this is something I have not said anything, but let me do Lugambo. We want this case very much because this case is now, we are now going to do research in this country and tell Ugandans through court. We are going to use that court as platform to tell Ugandans or create debate on sectarianism. We want this case very much. But the only thing, can it be when President Kabuleta can access, because he, being our leader, we don't want the debate to thrive when he is dead. We want when he is alive because he will contribute to it. We want this case very much. This case will help Ugandan solve, or if not solve, at least know of who
the promoter of sectarianism is.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So now we have a state, because now it seems it is the business as usual. People are captured, abducted wherever they are, and the fortunate ones who have a voice will be followed up. The unfortunate ones will not come out. But I also wanted to ask one thing, especially in regard to the freedom of speech, because now that is it at stake. When someone speaks, there can be a concoction and you will be promoting sectarianism, and for that reason you will go to jail and that kind of stuff. If someone is actually promoting, it is okay to arrest them if they are not to concoct. So I wanted to also get an understanding. You spoke like someone who has a legal background. Is the freedom of speech absolute?
It is not. It is not absolute. But there are very few freedoms are absolute. Let me begin from there. Freedom of speech is not absolute. Of course, it is subject to many other things, including national stability or national security. But
especially national security.
Yes, that's one of them. But I will tell you that this particular one, not speaking about it is worse. This of sectarianism that is being practiced in this country, not speaking about it is what caused. You remember when we had the Obote one? After Obote one, you know, if a president that is in power, when they say your government yaba your government yaba choli, your government yaba lugwara. We don't want another government say no government yaba nyankole, government yagun. For goodness sake, we should have a conversation when every Ugandan says your government yafe. Are you not aware in this country that there was a time we were deploying our soldiers in a certain country, and somebody said, every soldier killed, I will eat chicken. Okay, he made that statement. But did we bother as a country to listen to his emotion that drove him to utter that? Statement. There are many things people are getting depressed with down there. They utter the word, you take the word, you don't interrogate what caused that. Do you know why when we go, for example, we are in Congo, so a Ugandan soldier is killed, and people are sharing the pictures, and they are happy, they are saying,
and they are our brothers.
And they are our brothers. Because the one there, do you know why? Simply because he's putting on uniform. And they are not, somebody, they are killing a Japadola, a soldier who is a Japadola. People are not crying because of the soldier, because he's putting on uniform. They say, we must get to a point when you do not look at somebody by where he comes from, the village, but as a country.
And the difference now between a civilian and someone in uniform is the other one follows orders.
Can you imagine? I was on another talk show last week with a senior police person. How do they say? How do they say in you are the Baganda Basoga? Word escaping. And then he said that do you know nakuzino? For our police we took vira omuntu wesimu nti nze ndi mu police jangu tu waliyo ensongezi abantu tumalirize. Waberanga esimu ajajijjako, esimu ajimenye, simu kada ajisule mutoyi, waberanga wali asobola okutundawo atundewo aveewo. Policeman, and that the deputy is the deputy in charge of community policing. It's called Muhwezi somebody. Is my brother. I'm mentioning him because I know he will not get annoyed. When he said that, I asked him, so are you then saying there is a problem between civilian and policemen? So if previously the talk was, they are lynching a thief says muntwale ku police. At least muntwale ngamba nyingi watu police
there's a chance of survival.
Naye kati omupoliisi okuba obukubira omuntu essimu it necessitates omuntu asenguka.
The police protect and serve.
Hey, the one that is protecting and serve. What do you think? Where did the rain begin beating us?
Awo wenyini ku polisi waliwo amawulire agayitinga nnyo olunaku lwa yesterday agamba abawagizi ba need ekyenjojo bakwatiddwa bituufu.
Yes, right now, of course, because of the agitation, not just in Chenjojo, also in Hoima. Also in Hoima, also around Soroti and Teso, there were those that were arrested, but also because we have some people also released them. So it looks like now it is going national. That because of the agitation, because people are saying, release the president. And that it is legitimate demand. They are not violent. They are not planning anything subversive. They are simply saying, release. At least let him go get treatment. But the best way to silence this voice is to round them up and arrest them. We know there are a number being picked. We know, we have records. We have instructed all our officials to record and communicate. I'm sure when I get to office, I'm going to find quite a number. So they are being arrested. So, but for us, we have told the government from the beginning that we shall not. It is true we want to get into government, but we are not going to get into government through bloodshed or breaking the law. We know sometimes these laws are used to suppress us or subdue us, but still we have accepted they are the laws we have as of now. So let them not, they will not push us. And I've communicated to all our members, they want to push us into breaking the law. Please don't follow them there because they are experts that side.
It's their specialty.
Yeah, so for us, let's use, even when the laws are unfair against us, let's use them because they are the only ones we have as of now.
Omukulu waliwo omukulu wano mu comment section abuuza Mr. Odaka should understand that contesting in any position, call it MP, doesn't guarantee your understanding. It is true that we have MPs who think and reason like the primary dropouts. Understanding is not mandatory, and it is every man's to think for himself, and what they think is left for them. It is mostly caused by lack of knowledge. Woyogeredde gwali ogamba nti MP olaba agamba nti woweze emyaka 2 w'ennyumba ne bakutandika okuwasala kisobokera ddala nti MP oyo talina information ate talina interest mu kumanya, so n'asala spreading propaganda.
Yeah, of course, you know, but also reason and knowledge is subjective.
Yeah, that's
so.
That's
where you stand. Where you stand is where you see the moon from. That's what we say in law.
Yeah, but there are things that are between fact and argument.
Yes.
There are things that are facts.
Yeah.
Others you can argue.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but as we come to our conclusion, time is fast spent. What do you think the opposition as a whole can do in this? And how about the solidarity? I don't know. Have you had other political opposition players?
Yes. I want to thank our friends. And by the way, for example, and saying friends and opposition, I don't think it is good to even say opposition, but parties. For example, in Hoima, even the people leading the crusade release President Kabuleta are actually NRM people. So it is no longer. So people, it looks like we are increasingly growing into a line where bad is bad, good is good. There are people who are doing that. And for me, I am happy. I want to thank our friends, especially from my colleague from the NUP, Honorable Bongoya. We have been talking. I want to thank our friends from the FDC. They have made solidarity call. You have seen our friends, for example, from the DP. You saw Honorable Mukauku was there. He actually wanted to stand surety. I want to thank our big sister, Miriam Matembe. She's really been with us, standing. The Ken Chamuzi, Honorable Basalirwa, even when he's out of the country. He has constantly called and he wants to appear in court as soon as the president is in court. So we are really in talk with all our, we have solidarity calls, we have messages, we are talking, and so because they understand that ikiri atabara ikiri anasigadde waka. Okay. This one has not understood.
I will start.
She will explain.
I'll start taking notes, those things of leaving me out. But thank you so much for being with us today. And as people who have experienced what the president is possibly going through now, it is not
a nice thing.
Yeah, it is not a beautiful experience. It's ugly. It's a very bad place he is. But so we stand also with you, and we hope that the justice is miraculous.
When you asked the question, you only asked about political parties. But you see, they are our partners in this, and you, the media. Yeah. We want to thank you, the media, in your various capacities. You've stood with us, you pushed the message. Because let me tell you, in this struggle we are in of abducting and people disappearing and what, we can't do work more than you people, because you are the ultimate voice that can always amplify this. You are the we can always make the voice, but when we have no loudspeakers, public address, it will only be within the locality. You people make the whole thing international. And some of governments like this that now think their citizens are useless. They only fear where the money that sustains them come from. Now, and yet it is your voices that reach that side. So that's why we thank all of you in the media.
Okay. So we hope that justice is served and he is exonerated if he's found innocent of what is going on. And I want to give you to say your parting shots.
Yes, I want to thank Ugandans for standing with President Kabuleta and all political prisoners. All political prisoners. I had yesterday at the prayer of Sheikh Nuhu Muzata, may God be pleased with all the works he did. Mulangira Kibinge, I want to thank him sincerely as my leader from the Muslim faith for making it categorically clear and speaking against the abduction. Yes. I also I heard him say how come that he was, well, for him, because I hadn't paid attention to that statistics, he says the majority of they being abducted, whether they are borders, what coincidence is it that they are Muslim names?
Would it also be a coincidence?
Just like gold and Ebola. Just like gold and Ebola. So, but that was his. But for me, I want to say all Ugandans are Ugandans and must be respected. Yeah. We are Ugandans because we are Ugandans.
Yes.
we didn't choose nobody. If I am telling you, if today you told people to choose, probably they wouldn't have chosen to be born in Uganda. Yeah. So we are here because we are Ugandans. Therefore, we must make this country a better country to live in. There is no choice.
Thank you.
Weewaawo nange nja kwebaza Omulangira Kasimu Nakibinge okuvaayo n'oyogera ku abductions ezigenda mu maaso naddala ezaabo abasiraamu kubanga abasiraamu bangi bali mu kukwatibwa mu nsonga nno ezitali na makulu. So bw'ovaayo n'oyogera abantu bangi abakukkiririzaamu kitegeeza nti ate eddoboozi lyo ligenda kuwulirwa. Nammwe eri mmwe mwenna abavuddeyo ne mwogera ku abductions ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga nammwe mwebale eddoboozi lyammwe, you never know where your voice is going and who is going to hear it. So thank you, keep doing it, because tetunafuna results, it is still going on, abductions jagenda maaso. So keep talking. Buli gwosanze wabweru w'eggwanga, gwosanze within the country, for as long as they have a particular position, talk about their abductions. Kijja tukola bulungi nnyo. Naye ng'olunaku lwa leero nkoze n'omukulu Rogers waabwe, ate ne guest wange olunaku omukulu Odaka Asuman, Secretary General w'ekibiina kya NENT. So nno nammwe abalabye mwebale nnyo okubeerako nga mutulaba okuva eri gye twatandikidde ku ssaawa emu ate paka wano we tuwunzikidde program yaffe ey'olunaku lwa leero. Kate tumusime yatudde ku kamera, ate omukulu Mokose Anthony abadde mu control room. Director w'olwaleero Nabokera Teddy Tenjo, mwebale kola tusinkane ku ssaawa emu nga hotline omukulu Abdulatif nga anyumyamukko nammwe. See you then, a very good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.